Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you're all well. In today's video we have another PS5 which has an error that's crashing during gameplay.
For your Xbox and PlayStation repairs, visit consoletherapy.com.
So as I say, this PS5 during any gameplay, any games at all, mostly with the PS5 games, not necessarily PS4 games, but definitely PS5 games, the PS5 crashes and shows an error CE-108255-1. Now that is quite a common error. I'll put a screenshot up on the screen now to show you the actual error code that it comes up with. Now the crash happens, it can be after 5 minutes of gameplay, it can be after about an hour or so. So I can't actually show you on video because I don't know when it's going to happen. But it's quite a common error. Right? I've seen quite a few people post about this error. There are some videos on YouTube which tell you to do things like reset the console, clear out the cache, etc., rebuild the database. From all of my testing, none of them really work, right? It does actually point to an issue, certainly from my experience, of an issue with the actual SSD, on-board SSD in the PS5, mainly around the actual SSD controller chip, not the actual drive itself, or the chips that actually make up the SSD. So what we're going to do is we are going to take this apart and we're actually going to replace the SSD controller. We've done this a few times and it resolves that error code. So let's take you through that now. First of all, obviously we need to get the motherboard out, so we're going to walk through that. I will fast forward through that bit though. Right, so has this one been opened previously? No, it hasn't. Wow. Haven't seen one of these in a while that hasn't been opened before. Right, so let's get into it and get us down to the motherboard. Right, so there we go, motherboard out, and let's just zoom you in a minute. It is actually this IC here that we need to replace. So this actually controls the SSD, also known as the SSD controller, and the actual chip is an SIE chip. It's a CXD, 90062GG on this revision of the PS5. And as I say, it controls these ICs here. They form part of the SSD, and so do these three here. So all of those three and those three are all part of basically your onboard storage, right? Effectively your hard drive on board, or solid state drive. Now, obviously, the PS5 needs this IC to control all of these chips, and what essentially is happening is this is in some way faulty or corrupted, and that's why it throws the error code. So there's not really any way that you can diagnose these SIE ICs with this particular fault, right? If it was, for example, the PS5 not powering on, or it had a blue light issue, a long blue light issue, you can take some measurements around the IC and actually determine it is that IC, in that case, if it is that's faulty. But when you get the system error code, the problem is it will boot and work absolutely fine for 5 minutes, for an hour, maybe 2 hours in some cases, and then the game will just crash. And it's at that part that the error actually appears on the IC. So if I were to measure this now, I wouldn't get any bad readings from any of the capacitors, right? So that's the problem that we've got when diagnosing the issue. So what I'm going to do is get this replaced, and it's really just through experience, right? Seeing that error code a number of times now and knowing that the SSD controller throws that error. So we are going to get that replaced with a spare that we have from a donor board, which has already been reboarded. So we'll get that replaced. You know, one thing, you can replace this using, you know, your hot air gun. Of course you can. What I find doing that though, because you're only putting quite a lot of heat on the top of the board, the motherboard starts to bow a little bit. So when you're doing an IC of this size, and yeah, arguably with the Southbridge as well, but certainly an IC of this size, it's best to use a rework station, right? So we'll be using our rework station to replace this because obviously that heats from the bottom and it heats from the top as well, which is a much better way of actually replacing ICs of this size. So we will get over to our hot air station. That autofocus is really annoying. We'll get over to our hot air station and we'll film us replacing it. Right, so that is the SSD controller replaced. What I need to do now is obviously give everything a good test. So we'll pop a thermal pad back on top of it, then we'll get everything put back together. We've reattached the CMOS battery. We'll finish just giving it a bit of a clean. There's a little bit of flux down here. So I'll finish cleaning it up and then we'll get it put back together. And then obviously we do need to test it for a good few hours. So let's do that. Right, this is a few days later now. PlayStation 5, I'm happy to say, is working fine. As you can see on the screen, got a few games installed and we haven't had any error messages whatsoever. It's probably been on test for a good 24 hours over the last few days. We'll continue to test it, obviously, just to make sure everything is running as expected and we don't get any errors. So there you go, video there for you to show you how to resolve CE-108255-1 error codes on a PlayStation 5. Now, as I say, this method isn't guaranteed to work every single time, right? Because that error code could be because one of the actual ICs and the SSD out of the 6 that you saw could be faulty as well. So it might not necessarily be the controller. But we've probably done a good 20 of these replacements now, and it has fixed that every time. So it's not unheard of that one of the SSD chips can fail. But certainly it seems to be the SIE SSD controller IC, which is more temperamental and failing more often in our experience anyhow. Only problem is with doing this is when you're actually diagnosing the issue, there's not really any way that's certainly that I know of actually measuring the IC before you remove it to check if it is actually at fault. You know, so we have done a couple where we've replaced the SIE IC controller and that hasn't been at fault, right? So the fault has come back. But as I say, 9 times out of 10, it has actually resolved the issue. If you do know of a way of actually measuring the SIE IC and determining if that error code is because the chip is failing, please let me know, because I'll be really interested in seeing that. Anyhow, thanks very much for your view. Please, please, please give us a thumbs up if you found this video useful. Also consider subscribing to the channel. We are posting videos every single week now on Sundays. So it's just a couple of clicks for you, but it really does help us out. So thanks very much for watching. Please take care of yourselves. Speak to you all again soon.